Hey Liam, let me ask you something. If someone wanted to sound more confident, organized, and productive in English, what kind of phrases should they be using every day?
Honestly, they should focus on the exact same expressions native speakers use to manage their schedules, set priorities, stay focused, and get things done. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today.
What's really interesting is that the phrases they use aren't overly complicated. They're actually very simple and direct.
Exactly. If you want to use English in the real world, especially professionally, you need the language that helps you plan your week, communicate your progress, and manage your goals efficiently.
I think most learners focus a lot on travel English or just casual small talk, but in reality, they spend far more time managing schedules, priorities, deadlines, and daily responsibilities.
Spot on. So today, we're not just learning standard vocabulary, we're learning the exact English that successful people use to crush a productive week.
By the end of this lesson, you'll have a toolkit of practical expressions you can start using every day, from Monday morning all the way through the weekend.
That sounds incredibly useful. Let's start with Monday, because for most of us, that's when the real heavy lifting begins.
Definitely. Productive people always start their week by getting organized and setting the tone. What's a classic phrase native speakers drop when they're mapping things out on a Monday?
One of the most common and effective ones is simply, "Let's make a plan."
Short and sweet. What are some other useful Monday expressions to kick off the week?
Native speakers will often ask, "What's the priority?" or "What's top priority today?"
I love that one because, let's be honest, Monday mornings can feel completely overwhelming with emails and tasks.
Oh, for sure. Asking yourself or your team what's truly important creates immediate clarity. It filters out the noise.
Right. So instead of drowning in a sea of tasks and trying to do everything at once, you're deciding what actually matters most.
Exactly. You're taking control of the day.
What else might someone say to get the ball rolling?
Another essential expression is, "Let's get organized."
That sounds like the ultimate Monday mantra.
It really is, because a little bit of organization early on creates massive momentum for the rest of the week.
I think many learners already know these words individually, but they might struggle to put them together naturally. Once the priorities are set, what phrase would native speakers use to actually shift into action?
One of the absolute most common is simply, "Let's get started."
Oh, I hear that one all the time in movies and workplace vlogs.
Because it's simple, motivating, and incredibly practical. It just cuts through the hesitation.
But what if someone looks at their Monday to-do list and realizes they have way too many things to do? It's easy to freeze up.
If you feel that overwhelm creeping in, the golden phrase is, "One thing at a time."
That's actually just great life advice in general.
It really is. If you try to chase two rabbits, you catch none.
So true. Any other common productivity phrases before we move past the beginning of the week?
Absolutely. To keep everyone on track, a leader or a productive professional will say, "Let's focus on what's important."
That definitely sounds like something highly successful people say on repeat.
Well, Emma, distractions are everywhere nowadays. Productivity often comes down to your ability to maintain focus, not your ability to multitask.
That is a huge truth. Now, moving along, Wednesday feels like the exact middle of the journey. The initial Monday energy might be fading a bit. What phrases help people stay productive midweek?
On Wednesdays, a very common and direct one you'll hear is, stay focused.
Short but powerful.
Exactly. Native speakers love short phrases that pack a punch. Another classic midweek expression is, keep going.
I love that one. I think sometimes productivity isn't about doing anything fancy, it's simply about not stopping.
Spot on, especially on a Wednesday afternoon when your morning coffee is worn off and motivation starts disappearing.
Let's move on to Thursday. By this point in the week, people often run into unexpected roadblocks or challenges.
Yes, and that's exactly why problem-solving language becomes so important here. You need phrases that move you from complaining to action.
What's a go-to useful phrase when a problem pops up on a Thursday?
Instead of stressing out, native speakers will often say, let's figure it out.
That's such a useful expression because problems happen every week, at least with me.
You're right, and I really enjoy how practical these phrases are.
What's the next step?
Well, Emma, that phrase right there is the next step. It's exactly the expression you need, and natives use it all the time.
Oh, you got me. I didn't even realize I said it, but that's a great point. By Thursday, people have usually been working hard for several days, and that's often when unexpected challenges start showing up. I think this is where a lot of people begin to lose momentum. How do productive people handle that?
One thing productive people understand is that problems are completely normal. They don't expect a perfect week. Instead, they focus on action. And a phrase you'll hear a lot when things go wrong is, let's fix it.
I really like that expression because it sounds proactive instead of negative.
Exactly. Instead of focusing on the problem, it focuses on finding a solution. That's one reason native speakers use it so often.
I can imagine using that phrase at work, at school, or even in everyday situations.
Absolutely. It's one of those versatile expressions that works almost everywhere.
What other expressions help people stay productive when things don't go according to plan?
Another very common one is, where do we go from here?
That's such a simple question, but it feels incredibly useful.
That's because productive people don't spend all their energy thinking about what went wrong. They focus on what comes next.
That's a great mindset, because getting stuck on problems rarely helps. And as the week gets closer to Friday, I imagine people start evaluating how much they've accomplished.
That's right. Friday is often all about reviewing progress and finishing strong.
What are some useful English phrases for that stage of the week?
One phrase you'll hear frequently is, we're making progress.
I like that because it focuses on improvement rather than perfection.
Exactly. Productive people understand that progress matters much more than perfection.
That's a lesson many learners could apply to English too. Language learning and productivity really have a lot in common.
Absolutely.
What else might someone say on a productive Friday?
A very common expression is, let's wrap this up.
Oh, I've heard that one before. Native speakers use it all the time.
They really do. They use it when they're finishing a task, a project, a meeting, or even a conversation.
So it's basically a way of saying, let's finish.
Yes, but it sounds much natural in everyday situations.
Any other Friday expressions?
Another useful one is, we got a lot done.
That sounds like such a satisfying sentence to say.
It really is, because it acknowledges the hard work you completed throughout the week.
I think many people focus so much on what's left to do that they forget to recognize what they've already accomplished.
That's a great observation, Emma. Productive people always take a moment to recognize their progress.
What happens when the weekend arrives?
Surprisingly, productive people don't just switch off their brains completely. They usually spend a little time reflecting and preparing for the week ahead.
That makes sense, because a great week often starts with good preparation.
Exactly. And a useful phrase for this moment is, let's review the week.
That sounds like a great habit to build.
It really is, because reflection helps you identify what worked and what didn't.
What kinds of questions might people ask themselves during this review?
They might ask, what went well? Or, what could I improve next week?
Those are simple but incredibly powerful questions.
That's because improvement always starts with awareness.
I think many learners could use those exact same questions for their English studies too.
Absolutely. Reflecting on your progress is one of the fastest ways to improve at anything.
Is there another phrase people often use while preparing for the upcoming week?
Yes, a very common one is, let's get ready for next week.
That sounds like the perfect way to end a productive week.
It is, because productivity isn't just about what you do today. It's also about preparing for tomorrow.
Looking back at all the phrases we've covered today, I noticed something interesting. None of them are particularly advanced.
That's actually one of the biggest lessons from today's video. Many learners believe that productivity English requires complicated, formal vocabulary.
So the real power comes from using practical phrases naturally.
Exactly. Fluency isn't about knowing the most difficult words. It's about knowing the right words for everyday situations.
I think that's a huge mindset shift for most learners. Before we finish, could we quickly review the key expressions from this productive week?
Of course. We started with, let's make a plan, what's the priority, and let's get organized.
Those were our Monday phrases.
Exactly. Then we moved into, let's get started, one thing at a time, and let's focus on what's important.
Perfect for Tuesday.
Then on Wednesday, we looked at stay focused and keep going.
Two expressions that can help people through almost anything.
Absolutely. Then for Thursday, we learned let's figure it out and what's the next step.
Great problem-solving language.
Then Friday gave us we're making progress, let's wrap this up, and we got a lot done.
Those are definitely phrases I can imagine hearing at work.
And finally, for the weekend, we talked about let's review the week and let's get ready for next week.
When you hear them all together, they really do sound like the language of productive people.
Because that's exactly what they are. These are phrases people use every day to stay organized, focused, and effective.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from this lesson is that productivity isn't something magical.
It's often built through small actions repeated consistently.
That's such an encouraging message because it means learners don't need to be perfect, they just need to keep going. Before we go, what's one final message you'd like to leave everyone with?
I'd like everyone watching to remember that productive people don't wait for motivation, they create habits. Consistency beats intensity every single time.
I love that. And honestly, understanding that real fluency is about simplicity changes everything, especially when you need to interact with native speakers in the real world.
You hit the nail on the head, Emma. Actually, many learners freeze up when talking to Americans, not because their English is bad, but because they don't understand how Americans actually communicate in daily life. There are a few unwritten rules you absolutely need to know.
That is so true. In fact, if you want to avoid communication breakdowns and feel 100% confident next time you talk to a native speaker, you need to watch our next video.
Just click right here on the screen on the video, Know This Before Talking to Americans. We'll show you exactly what to expect and how to handle it.
See you there. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.